Welcome to part 2 of my 4-part series about the crucifixion and really what Jesus went through, the physical and mental pain. But he did it for us. Right, so the next obstacle Jesus faced was a form of torture called scourging, which is described as beating someone with a whip. And it was so torturous, right, and so painful that the Romans did not let fellow Romans get tortured this way. Right? The Romans would not let their fellow Romans, no matter what they did, have this punishment. This was only used for slaves and traitors. So in the case of the victim, in this case being Jesus, they'd be tied up to this wooden post, right, stripped naked. And they would be whipped. But these whips are not what you would think. They had these pieces of like bones, of these shards, and sometimes even a hook at the end. And whenever you would whip them, these bones and these shards would stick into your skin, into your flesh, and then the legionnaires could whip it out, right? And these pieces of flesh would come flying out, leaving this huge cut where muscles hang out like ribbons, right? And these legionnaires who were committing these actions were elite units, and they were the size of like NFL linebackers, you think about it today. So these big units, right? And they take pleasure in this, and they whip them, and they pull it out. Right? And each cut, each whip leaves about a cut that's about 2 inches long. And each cut would take about 20 stitches to clean up. Right? And it's calculated that he was whipped about 39 times. Right? So in medical terms, it would take over 2,000 stitches to close up each part. And the worst part about it is they didn't do this to kill him. They did this so that when he goes on the cross, he can endure the most amount of pain he can, right? They do it so where he doesn't die, but he's close to death. And then when they get on the cross, and it's that hot air, right? And it's hot and it's warm, right? This blood starts to flow because it's hot, and now he's just bleeding. All right, we already talked about how he shredded blood, and now that blood is going to be shredded even more because it's hot, and his body's trying to cool down, and every time he sweats, this blood comes out. Could you endure that? Could you imagine that? And he was tortured in front of the Jews. He was tortured in front of his people. The ridicule he faced and the blasphemy he faced. Awful. But he did that for us. Now guys, get ready to watch part 3 of this 4-part series.